Have you ever noticed? Every morning, we face the same little decision. What should I eat today? A cup of coffee, a slice of toast, or maybe just something quick on the go. I used to be the same. Life got so busy that breakfast became more of a habit than a conscious choice. Then one day, I came across a question that stopped me in my tracks. What if 2 eggs a day could change your life? 2 eggs? Every day? How could something so simple possibly make a difference? So I started digging. And the deeper I went, the more surprised I became. These 2 humble little eggs carried more than I ever imagined, for our health, our brain, even our longevity. Did you know? There's something called choline in eggs that fuels memory and emotional balance. Or that lutein, found in the yolk, works like natural, blue light glasses, to protect your eyes. Just 2 eggs a day. It's not a miracle. It's not magic. It's just a small choice, but one that can have a powerful impact on your body. Coming up, you'll go on a journey. From science-backed truths about nutrition, to real-life stories about how a small habit can lead to life-changing results. And who knows? By the end of this video, you might never look at eggs the same way again. Let's dive in. 1. 2 eggs a day, just a habit or a life-changing ritual? A few months ago, I met an old friend at a weekend farmer's market. She looked radiant, healthy skin, clear eyes, full of energy. The kind of glow you can't fake. I asked her what had changed. She smiled and said, I started taking breakfast seriously. 2 eggs, every single morning. At first, I thought she was joking. But she wasn't. And it made me think. For most of us, breakfast is the most rushed part of the day. We grab a granola bar or pour a bowl of cereal and call it good. It feels normal. It feels harmless. But is it really giving our bodies what they need? Eggs have been on our plates for centuries. But somewhere along the way, they became forgettable. Just another food. Nothing special. But here's the thing. 2 eggs may seem like a small choice, but they can become a powerful daily ritual, one that builds consistency, nourishment, and even resilience into our lives. Let's break it down. 1 large egg contains about 6 grams of high-quality protein, essential vitamins like A, B12, D, and minerals like selenium and phosphorus. That's in just 78 calories. Multiply that by 2, and you've got a breakfast that fuels your body without overloading it. But it's not just about nutrients on paper. It's about what those nutrients actually do. Protein keeps you full. Vitamin D supports your bones. Choline powers your brain. And the act of showing up for yourself each morning with real food? That's its own kind of medicine. I once read this line that stuck with me. Small habits, repeated daily, become the architecture of a better life. And that's exactly what this is. A small act of care. 2 eggs. Nothing fancy. But done with intention. So maybe it's not just a habit. Maybe it's a quiet form of self-respect. And if that sounds like a stretch, don't worry, we're just getting started. Because in the next part, we'll look closer at what's actually inside these tiny nutrition bombs and why science is finally giving eggs the spotlight they deserve. 2. The nutrient bomb, why eggs deserve the superfood title. I remember standing in a grocery aisle one day, staring at shelves packed with supplements. Bottles of vitamin D, B12, omega-3s, protein powder, and something called choline, which I had never even heard of back then. It hit me, people are spending hundreds of dollars every year trying to piece together what a single food has been quietly offering all along. That food? The humble egg. We've all heard the term superfood. It's usually reserved for exotic berries or powders flown in from halfway around the world. But if we go by the definition, a food dense in nutrients, easy to access, and supportive of overall health, then eggs absolutely deserve that title. Let's take a closer look. Each large egg contains about 6 grams of complete protein, meaning it has all 9 essential amino acids. Your body can't make these on its own, so they need to come from food. And eggs deliver them in a form that's easy to digest and absorb. That protein builds and repairs everything, from your skin and muscles to your immune cells and even the neurotransmitters in your brain. Then there's vitamin A, supporting your vision and immune system. Vitamin B12, essential for energy and brain health. Vitamin D, which many people, especially in northern parts of the US, are deficient in, especially during winter. And let's not forget selenium, a powerful antioxidant that protects your cells from damage. But one of the most underrated nutrients in eggs is choline. It's critical for brain function, liver health, and even helps with learning and memory. Yet, about 90% of Americans don't get enough. And here's the kicker: 2 eggs give you over half of your daily choline needs. I once met a nutritionist who said, if eggs were newly discovered today, they'd be sold in health stores for $5 a piece and called a miracle food. It made me smile, but it also made sense. Sometimes, the most powerful foods are the ones we've been walking past our whole lives. So here's the little lesson. Before reaching for the next trendy supplement, look at your plate. Maybe the best thing you can do for your body doesn't come in a bottle, it comes in a shell. But nutrition is just one part of the story. Because if you're someone who's ever struggled with energy crashes, cravings, or stubborn weight loss, well, eggs might have something surprising to offer there too. Let's talk about that next. 3. Burn fat, not willpower. The role of eggs in sustainable weight loss. A friend of mine, Sarah, once told me, I've tried every diet out there. Keto, low carb, no carb, you name it. But the hardest part wasn't the food. It was the hunger. She wasn't alone. Most diets fail not because we lack discipline, but because our bodies feel deprived. And hunger has a way of wearing down even the strongest willpower. That's where eggs come in, not as a magic solution, but as a quiet, steady helper. Here's why. Eggs are rich in high-quality protein, and protein does something pretty amazing in the body. It keeps you full. It triggers the release of hormones like peptide YY and cholecystokinin, which tell your brain, hey, we're good. You don't need that muffin an hour from now. In fact, researchers from a study published in the International Journal of Obesity found that people who ate eggs for breakfast consumed fewer calories throughout the day compared to those who ate the same number of calories from bagels. Same calories, completely different results. It's not just about fullness either. Protein takes more energy to digest than fats or carbs, a process known as the thermic effect of food. That means your body burns more calories simply by processing it. Sarah decided to try something new. Every morning, instead of her usual cereal, she made a quick meal, 2 scrambled eggs with spinach and a slice of whole grain toast. Nothing fancy. But after 2 weeks, she noticed she wasn't snacking as much. Her energy was more stable. And the weight started coming off, not in a dramatic, TV commercial way, but in a sustainable, no-stress kind of way. Here's the little truth we often forget. You don't have to starve to lose weight. You just have to feed yourself better. And eggs are a smart way to do that, nutrient-dense, low in calories, satisfying in all the right ways. So if you're on a health journey, trying to feel more in control of your cravings and energy, eggs might be one of the simplest and most supportive foods you can lean on. But that's not where the benefits stop. Because while your body is feeling more balanced, your eyes, yes, your eyes, might also be thanking you in ways you can't yet see. Let's talk about that next. 4. Vision Guard, how eggs may save your eyes in the digital era. It started with a dull ache behind my eyes. At first, I thought it was just fatigue, too many late nights, too much screen time. But then it kept happening. Blurry vision. Dryness. That feeling like my eyes were working overtime every single day. And honestly, they were. Like most people, I spend hours in front of screens, laptops, phones, tablets. The average American clocks in more than 7 hours of screen time daily. That's a lot of blue light hitting our eyes. But here's where eggs come in, again, quietly, without fanfare. Inside the yolk of every egg are two powerful antioxidants, lutein and zeaxanthin. You may not hear those names often, but your eyes know them well. These nutrients accumulate in the retina, especially in the macula, the part responsible for sharp, central vision. What do? They act like natural sunglasses, filtering out harmful blue light and protecting your eye tissues from oxidative damage. Think of it this way. Every time you eat an egg, especially with the yolk intact, you're sending a little protection squad straight to your eyes. I once met a photographer in her 60s who swore by two things, a good lens and a good breakfast. She told me, lutein is like insurance for my eyes. And I get it from my eggs, not a bottle. Science backs her up. Studies have shown that people who consume more lutein and zeaxanthin have a lower risk of age-related macular degeneration, one of the leading causes of vision loss in older adults. There's also some evidence that it helps prevent cataracts, which cloud the eye's lens over time. But here's the catch. Your body can't make lutein or zeaxanthin on its own. You have to get them from food. And eggs, especially from pasture-raised chickens, are one of the most absorbable sources out there. So the little lesson here? If you're going to stare at screens all day, like most of us do, give your eyes the nutrients they quietly crave. Because protecting your vision isn't just about getting the right glasses. Sometimes, it starts on your plate. And while your eyes are being shielded, there's another organ silently benefiting from those 2 eggs a day, one that controls your thoughts, your focus, even your mood. Let's head there next, your brain. 5. Brain-boosting breakfast, the link between eggs and mental sharpness. A few weeks ago, I was rushing through a deadline-heavy morning when it hit me. I'd been sitting at my desk for nearly an hour, staring at the same sentence, rereading it over and over. My brain felt foggy, like someone had turned down the brightness in my head. I had slept okay. Coffee was already in hand. But something was missing. Later that day, while talking to a dietitian friend, she asked me a simple question. What did you eat for breakfast? I paused. Just coffee and a granola bar. She smiled and said, try eggs tomorrow. Seriously. That's when I started learning about a quiet little nutrient that eggs are full of, choline. Choline doesn't get the spotlight like omega-3s or vitamin C, but your brain loves it. Why? Because choline is a building block of acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter responsible for memory, focus, and mood regulation. Imagine trying to send an important message across town, without a phone line. That's what your brain struggles with when it's low on choline. The average adult, especially women and older individuals, rarely gets enough choline from their diets. But guess what? One large egg contains about 125 milligrams, eat 2, and you're halfway to your daily requirement. There was even a study done at Boston University showing that people with higher choline intake performed better on memory and cognitive tests. Not a miracle cure. Just steady support for the brain, one breakfast at a time. Since I started eating eggs regularly in the morning, 2 scrambled with a bit of spinach and avocado, I've noticed a difference. Less brain fog. Better concentration. Fewer, what was I doing again, moments. It's not magic. It's nutrition meeting intention. And here's the small lesson I've taken to heart. Your brain isn't just a thinking machine. It's an organ that needs to be fed. And when we nourish it with the right foods, especially early in the day, we give ourselves a better chance to stay clear, calm, and connected. But speaking of nourishment, there's one big myth that still makes people hesitate about eating eggs every day. And it has to do with cholesterol. Let's clear that up next. 6. Cholesterol confusion, debunking the biggest egg myth. When I first started eating 2 eggs a day, I'll admit, I hesitated. I could almost hear my inner voice whispering, wait, aren't eggs bad for your cholesterol? If you've ever wondered the same thing, you're not alone. For decades, we were told that egg yolks, because they contain cholesterol, might increase the risk of heart disease. The idea stuck hard. But here's what science now tells us. Dietary cholesterol is not the villain we once believed it to be. Let me explain. Your body actually makes cholesterol, every single day, because it's essential for hormone production, vitamin D synthesis, and cell membrane structure. And when you eat more cholesterol from food, your liver simply adjusts by making less. For the vast majority of people, eating eggs does not significantly raise LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol. In fact, in many studies, eggs have been shown to increase HDL, the good cholesterol that helps remove excess cholesterol from the bloodstream. I remember reading a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition where participants ate 1 to 3 eggs a day. The results? Their HDL levels improved, and there was no significant impact on heart disease risk for healthy individuals. Of course, there are exceptions. Some people, known as hyperresponders, may see a more noticeable rise in cholesterol. But even then, the shift is often in both LDL and HDL, keeping the overall balance in check. I had an uncle who used to avoid eggs completely because of his family history of heart disease. Then, after a checkup and a talk with his doctor, he began reintroducing them, 2 per day, alongside a more balanced diet. Not only did his blood work stay stable, but he also said he felt more energized and satisfied throughout the day. So what's the takeaway? It's not just about one food. It's about your whole lifestyle. Eggs, when eaten as part of a balanced diet full of vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats, can absolutely have a place, even a powerful one, in your routine. The real danger isn't in the egg yolk. It's in the ultra-processed foods, the sugary snacks, the sedentary habits we often ignore. So before you toss the yolk out of fear, remember. Balance matters more than blame. And here's something else worth knowing. While you're feeding your heart and brain, those 2 little eggs might also be giving a boost to something you see in the mirror every day. Let's talk about your hair, skin, and nails, coming up next. 7. From hair to nails, how eggs transform your outer look. I was catching up with a friend over coffee one afternoon when I couldn't help but notice, her hair looked incredible. Thick, shiny, full of life. Her skin had that natural glow, and even her nails looked like they'd just come out of a salon. So I asked her, okay, what's your secret? New products? Supplements? She laughed and said, nope. I just started eating eggs every day again. At first, I thought she was being modest. But the more I looked into it, the more it made sense. Eggs don't just work inside your body, they show up on the outside, too. Let's start with hair. Hair is made mostly of a protein called keratin, and guess what eggs are rich in? High quality, easily absorbed protein. When your body has what it needs to build keratin, it can create stronger, healthier strands, less breakage, less shedding. But that's not all. Eggs are one of the best natural sources of biotin, also known as vitamin B7, a nutrient that plays a key role in the health of your hair, skin, and nails. And unlike some trendy supplements, biotin from whole food sources like eggs is more bioavailable, meaning your body actually uses it better. There's also vitamin A, which helps with skin cell turnover and keeps your skin from drying out. And selenium and zinc, 2 minerals in eggs that act like antioxidants, protecting your skin from the kind of stress that leads to premature aging. I remember someone telling me, your skin is the mirror of your nutrition. And it's true. When you nourish your body well, it shows. One small note though, many people make the mistake of eating only the egg whites, especially when they're trying to be healthy. But most of the vitamins and minerals that support your hair and skin, they live in the yolk. So here's the little lesson. You don't need expensive creams or salon treatments to support your outer glow. Sometimes, it starts with what's on your breakfast plate. And while eggs might be helping you look better on the outside, they're also doing something equally powerful on the inside, especially when it comes to your blood sugar. Let's talk about that next. 8. Eggs versus energy crashes, the secret to balanced blood sugar. It used to happen to me all the time. That 10:30 a.m. crash. I'd start the day with a bowl of cereal or a slice of toast, feeling fine for a little while, until suddenly, I was jittery, hungry again, and reaching for a second cup of coffee just to stay focused. Sound familiar? Turns out, the real issue wasn't the caffeine or the early hour. It was blood sugar, and what I was, or wasn't, feeding my body first thing in the morning. Here's how it works. When you eat something high in refined carbs and low in protein, like white bread, sugary cereal, or pastries, your blood sugar spikes quickly. That gives you a short burst of energy, but it doesn't last. Your body releases a big wave of insulin to deal with the sugar, and pretty soon, your levels drop, leaving you feeling tired, moody, and craving more food. It's a roller coaster. And your body hates roller coasters. That's where eggs can make a real difference. They have almost zero carbohydrates, but are rich in protein and healthy fats, two things that slow down digestion and help keep your blood sugar steady. One study from the Journal of the American College of Nutrition found that people who ate eggs for breakfast had more stable blood sugar and lower insulin levels throughout the day compared to those who ate a high-carb meal. I remember trying this myself. I swapped out my usual toast and jam for 2 boiled eggs with some avocado on the side. Not only did I stay full until lunch, but I also noticed something surprising. I was more focused, more even-tempered. No crashes. No mid-morning snack attacks. This became my little morning ritual. Here's the small but powerful lesson. Energy isn't just about how much you eat, it's about what you eat. Start your day with balance, and your body responds with calm, steady energy. And the great part is, this balance doesn't just affect your energy, it also supports one of the most important systems in your entire body. Your muscles. Because whether you're an athlete or just want to stay strong as you age, eggs have something special to offer there too. Let's explore that next. 9. Muscles for life. Why eggs aren't just for bodybuilders. A while back, I visited my grandfather. He's in his late 70s, still sharp, still independent, but he told me something that stuck with me. I've noticed I'm getting weaker. Not tired, just not as strong. That quiet kind of weakness? It's more common than we think. It even has a name, sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength as we age. And it doesn't just affect how much we can lift at the gym. It affects how we walk, how we balance, how we live. The good news? There are ways to slow it down. And yes, eggs are one of them. You see, every egg is packed with high-quality protein, but what makes that protein special is the amino acid profile. Eggs provide all 9 essential amino acids, including leucine, the key amino acid that triggers muscle protein synthesis. Think of leucine as the on switch that tells your muscles, hey, let's grow, let's repair. Now, most people think muscle-building foods are just for athletes or bodybuilders. But the truth is, everyone, from teenagers to retirees, needs muscle to stay strong, mobile, and independent. I once spoke with a woman in her 60s who had started doing light strength training and eating 2 eggs a day. Her goal wasn't to bulk up, she just wanted to garden without back pain and carry her groceries without help. A few months in, she felt more stable, more capable, and proud. That kind of strength? It's life-changing. And let's not forget. Eggs are easy to digest, quick to prepare, and inexpensive, making them an ideal post-workout meal or a reliable source of protein for any age. So here's the simple takeaway. Building and maintaining muscle isn't just about fitness, it's about freedom. And something as humble as 2 eggs a day can quietly support that strength, year after year. But strength isn't just physical, is it? Because beyond muscles and metabolism, there's something deeper we all hope for: to live longer, and to live well. Let's wrap this up with one final, powerful idea: eggs and longevity. 10. The longevity code. Can eggs help you live longer? Not long ago, I was reading about the world's blue zones, those rare pockets on Earth where people consistently live into their 90s and even 100s, not just existing, but thriving. What fascinated me wasn't just how long they lived, but how well. They moved every day, stayed connected to community, lived with purpose, and they ate real, simple food. In several of these regions, eggs are a regular part of the diet. Not 3 egg omelets drowned in cheese, but modest portions, 1 or 2 eggs, a few times a week, often combined with greens, grains, or legumes. So what role do eggs play in the big picture of longevity? Let's break it down. First, there's choline, which we've talked about before. It doesn't just fuel your brain, it also supports liver health, preventing the buildup of fat and reducing the risk of metabolic disease. There's also lutein and zeaxanthin, which not only protect your eyes but act as antioxidants that reduce chronic inflammation, a hidden driver of aging and many modern illnesses. Then there's the protein. As we age, preserving lean muscle mass becomes more than a fitness goal, it becomes a survival strategy. Muscle supports mobility, balance, and recovery. And eggs, as we've seen, are one of the simplest ways to feed that system. I remember an older neighbor, Miss Carol, who used to walk her dog every morning like clockwork. She was 84, sharp as ever. When I asked her what she usually had for breakfast, she smiled and said, 2 eggs, whole wheat toast, and half a grapefruit. Same thing for 30 years. Simple. Consistent. Nourishing. There's something beautiful about that. Because in the end, it's not the flashy diets or extreme routines that keep us going. It's the small, steady choices we make, day after day, year after year. So here's the quiet truth. Eggs aren't a magic bullet. But they're a humble ally. And when paired with movement, real food, connection, and purpose, they can absolutely support a longer, stronger, and more vibrant life. And now that you've seen just how much power is packed inside these tiny shells, there's just one thing left to ask. If something so simple can offer this much, what might happen if we stop underestimating the small things, and start building a life with them instead? Let's reflect on that, in our closing thoughts.